And we're ready. Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Pondering. Yeah, that's right. The crowd goes wide. And it's time to ponder. Something we do every weekday morning. 6 to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We think things through, we analyze, we talk, we discuss. There are no holds barred. And we're so glad that you've joined us. It is great to have you. Good morning to so many who have popped on all of a sudden here. Wayne and Leanne and Louise. Great to have all you guys. Thank you. And anybody I missed, I think I did miss a couple. It is a blessing to have you join me every weekday and to participate in the Pondering podcast and radio program. If you're listening on podcast for the first time, perhaps, let me tell you how you can participate. You can jump right in via the live stream on the Pondering Radio page of Facebook. You can email us, ponderingradio@gmail.com is the email address, ponderingradio, like one word, @gmail.com. Or you can call us. Yeah, you can do that. 860-500-7163. Leave a message, 24/7, 365. But that matter, you can post on the Pondering Radio page of Facebook, 24/7, 365 too. But that phone number again is 860-500-7163. Happy Friday, TGIF. Good morning to Linda. That's right, it's Free for All Friday. What does that mean? It means anything goes. There's no set topics today. There are no guests today. It's really up to you. You can hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Yeah, you can throw out a topic, a question, a comment, a verse, a challenge of some kind. We will respond. You can joke. You can give us your favorite cat meme. I mean, I don't care, but just put it out there and we'll talk about it. We have no holds barred on this show. We just come at stuff from an unabashedly, unashamedly, and yes, even though it's not wonk or woke, it might be wonk, not woke. We are unapologetically Christian. We see things through a biblical worldview. We encourage Christians not to check their brains at the door and not to put their faith in a box. That means we don't, just go with the flow. We think things through and we speak from that factual, intelligent basis, we hope. And we encourage people to let faith drive everything, because if we truly believe that Jesus is Lord and the Word of God is true, then that should drive what we say and think and do. It should be the basis of how we vote, all that stuff. So that's how we come at life. That's how we deal with the show every weekday morning. So what's on your mind, Ponderers? It is Friday, of course. I hope your plans for the weekend are rocking and rolling. Hello to Wayne. Good to have you aboard. Good morning, Fred. Great to see you, my friend. I have to watch because my comment screen is not scrolling, and I don't know why. I probably hit a button somewhere along the line that stopped that, but I don't know that I did because I don't know how to start it or stop it. So I'll try to remember to keep manually scrolling so I can see your comments and your thoughts. Yeah, I'd love to know what your plans are for the weekend. If you're doing anything exciting, something that can be fun. Linda says, feeling helpless in this climate. What are some ways to make a difference? Oh, so I assume you mean the climate of COVID-19 and the restrictions, or are you talking about the climate of the racial unrest, or both? Probably both, huh? Just the way things are right now. The world, I'm sorry, it's gone crazy. I was thinking the other day of that movie. It's a mad world. Remember that? It's probably the dorkiest movie ever made, but I laughed so hard when it first came out. I was on the floor in tears. I mean, just couldn't stop laughing. I don't know. It's just all the little sight gags and stuff, struck me funny. The guy has a car accident. He's lying on the side of the road, and he's saying goodbye to his friends, and then he jerks and his foot kicks a bucket that knocks it down a hill, and that's when he died. He kicked the bucket. I mean, just the stupidest stuff. But I laughed so hard at that movie. I don't know. But anyway, today it's not funny. It's just the world we live in. It is a mad world. We're going crazy. So good morning to Luke, by the way, who's joined us. So yeah, What are some ways to make a difference? Well, obviously we can pray, and we should. I think we can speak the truth in love. We can do things like this where we talk openly about some of the facts behind the craziness to try to dissuade some of the emotion. When emotion is based on lies, it can be dangerous, and that's where we want to speak the truth in love. I think we can help, and we can serve even those who oppose us or might not agree with us. We can serve in many ways. The church has done giveaways where we'll bag up goodies and have drive-through handouts for folks. Our life groups, people, each semester we try to do a project. This time, my life group, my Bible study group, is doing a food collection, and we'll be donating that mostly to Human Services here in Newington. I think that helps some of the families that have lost jobs. Sadly, we're still pushing, man. The media is still pushing for more downtime, more lockdowns, more fear, uncertainty, and doubt, being spewed about reopening, and we shouldn't have reopened, and oh my gosh, we're going to die, and that's just going to result in more layoffs probably if we respond to it. So people do need help with basics. I've heard cool thing a couple people have done is they'll buy stuff. They put a kid. I did this, I think, initially, and I can't remember where I heard it, but he put a table out front with a sign on it that said free for those who need it, and they put groceries out there in their front yard, and people would stop and pick up bread or pick up whatever. I thought that was kind of cool. Obviously, it was safe in the sense of social distancing. It was just a table. You drive up and take it. There was nobody else there, nobody manning the table per se. So there are little things like that we can do, and obviously calling and encouraging folks. When we know there's somebody who may be struggling, may be afraid, may be confused, widows, people who live alone and don't have anybody to talk to because can't go anywhere and no one's coming to see them, those phone calls can make a big difference. So those are just some thoughts. Maybe you guys have some thoughts on how to make a difference in this crazy world and this crazy climate we're in. I'm going to wave at Luke. I think I've caught up. Louise says, the Dangerous Prayers Life Group is changing me for the good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I know my wife loves doing that and being part of that. And I'll tell you what, my wife, I know this is going to sound, I don't know, maybe mushy. I'm not sure. I don't mean it that way. Just objectively as a pastor, if I look at what Karen does, she is more a pastor than I am. She is more of a servant than I am. She's more engaged in helping people, constantly doing stuff like that and calling people. And, where I might get jaded at times and be like, whatever, if they want help, they'll call me, because I get fed up sometimes with people, and you try to help them and they do the opposite of what you counsel. I've often joked I should do reverse psychology, whatever I don't want them to do, that's what I suggest, because they'll do the opposite. We have a very high percentage of oppositional folk in our neighborhood, our area, our corner of the world here. So I get fed up, but she doesn't. She just keeps going, calls them up, loves them. She's what I want to be when I grow up, and we'll see. I might grow up. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do that. Maybe when I retire, I'll grow up. We'll see. So those are some thoughts on the climate and how we can help. And the Prayer Life Group is a great way to grow and develop. I think Karen's done a great job with that, and others as well. So what else, guys? What else is on your mind? What else is on your heart? What are your plans for the weekend? What are you going to do? Are you going to sit in the house, watch movies, do the yard work? What's funny is there's a lot of people making money in the home entertainment business, and I guess that's not the right category, because you think of TVs when I say that. It's not just TVs and entertainment systems. It's pools, yard games, all that stuff. Man, it's flying off the shelf because families can't go socialize. Parties are canceled. Weddings are canceled. Reunions are canceled. And so what's everybody doing? Well, they're staying home. So what do? Well, you can sit and watch TV, or you can get yourself a little inflatable pool, and you can't go to a public pool. Oh no, look out! Because I was thinking the other day, I was watching some news piece about closing all the public pools in Western Mass, and I thought, Has anyone even studied whether or not Corona can survive in chlorine? I mean, it doesn't do well with bleach. I know that. Um, Kills it instantly on contact. So if it doesn't, just work with me here. If it doesn't survive with chlorine bleach or chlorine, why would public pools be bad? Wouldn't it be good to get as many people as possible in the pool and kill the virus and then let them get sun, which is also supposed to be bad for COVID? I don't know. I'm just saying. To me, and I'm no scientist and I'm no doctor. I only play one on TV. No, I know. But I play with medical stuff because I'm a hospice chaplain, so I work on a medical team, but I don't know what I'm talking about. I just wonder out loud, and whether that's been studied or considered. If it wouldn't it be ironic if chlorine kills COVID-19 and we're telling everybody to stay away from it and isolate in their home or whatever? It would seem to me that there might be some findings along those lines that would contradict our decision making with regard to public pools. But that's just me. Anyway, people are doing stuff at home. We have bought a little pool. It's about two and a half, 3 feet deep, 12 feet across, and it's mostly for kids. But I can sit in it and cool off. Feels great. So that's one example. But I think that business, that area of industry is booming because people are staying home, so they're going to do stuff that's fun other than just sit on the couch. Louise says she's helping me with Steps to Freedom. Yes, I know. I think I'll keep that wife of mine. Fred says when I'm down, I put an uplifting song and sing. There you go. That's great. And when Fred sings, angels join in, right? I mean, demons flee, and the neighbors call the police. But that's okay. I mean, it's just kidding, Fred. That's a great idea. No, we do that. We start every day pretty much with praise music booming through the house because it makes a difference and helps with our prayer and devotional time too. Wayne says, got to constantly remind myself that God is in control ultimately because I ask for discernment from him and it's just so very difficult. Yeah, amen. We got to have God's direction. I love Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 because it tells us if we trust in him with all our heart and we don't lean on our own understanding, we acknowledge him in all our ways, he will direct our paths, or he will make our paths straight. And got to believe that, got to trust that. I was just at a site visit this morning. Good news, by the way. I don't know what they're talking about in the media. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be constantly beating them up, but I just don't get it. You know, if we watch the 6 o'clock news, we're doomed. I mean, cases are on the rise and everything's horrible. The facilities I serve in that had COVID-19 patients, one of which I've told you was almost every patient in one unit had it, are now testing negative. I was just at another site this morning. Everyone's negative. Every single patient now is testing negative for COVID-19. So it's great. They didn't make me wear goggles today. I didn't have to wear my gown today. I just had a mask. And I learned something, too, that they don't want you wearing gloves everywhere because gloves can spread viruses easier than your hands. So I took off my gloves. All I had was my mask today. And they are doing just fine. So cases I've witnessed in nursing homes throughout Connecticut, Western Mass, are on the decline in terms of COVID-19. You're not going to hear that on the news, but that's the truth. I don't know what else to tell you. So anyway, but I think we need to have God's help and discernment to know the truth, but also to stay positive and stay focused, etc. Linda says, good. Thank you, Wayne, for the reminder. Amen. Louise says, I'm heading to the beach with some friends. Nice. Very good. That's always good. Beach therapy works, man. Plus, again, I mean, what is the impact of salt water on COVID-19? We know sun and heat is supposed to be bad for the virus, good for us. Vitamin D, et cetera, right? So do we really want to ban people from going to the beach? Do we want to close the beaches? No. Thankfully, they're opening up. And, you know, people typically keep some distance on the beach anyway. I mean, when you're laying there half naked, how close do you want to be to some stranger on both sides? You know, most people give themselves 6, 8, 10 feet if they can, spread out down the beach or whatever, back and forth. I always thought that was silly to close the beaches, but Anyway, they are open for the most part, and I think it's a healthy alternative for the weekend. Hopefully the weather holds out. I think it's supposed to be pretty good. So we'll see if that's the case. All right, what else is on your mind? Free for all Friday. Anything goes. Hit me with your best shot. If there's a verse, a passage, a topic you want to hit from Scripture, that's cool. If you want to talk about something you heard in the news, that's cool. If you want to talk about COVID-19, that's cool. Although we're probably getting sick of that, but that's okay. Whatever. The riots in the streets, the political moves to try to defund the police department, etc., etc. I've talked about the political ramifications of defunding, but with the police, but there's more to it too, and that is just the whole idea of safety, public safety. I mean, in the midst of rioting, looting, burning, we're talking about getting rid of the police, which are the only thing standing between innocent citizens and business owners of all races. You know, we've all seen, I'm sure, the video of the black business owner weeping because his whole life's work had been destroyed by these mobs. I mean, how is that helping? How is that showing Black Lives Matter when you've destroyed the life and livelihood of this black man or a woman? There was a couple different videos out there floating around of the. It wasn't just a couple isolated cases. This has happened a lot in the inner city. The only thing standing between those innocent folks and absolute destruction and devastation often is the blue line, the police. So we really want to get rid of them. I think it's going to get better. We think if we get rid of them, suddenly the rioting, looting, and destruction will stop. The only reason that that's even considered is people believe the police are the problem. That what happened with Mr. Floyd was based on institutional racism in the police department, which I've argued against from day one. I don't see any evidence of that at all. It was excessive use of force. It was a policeman and some friends that didn't hold him back, who was out of control, who had been called up for excessive use of force multiple times, and not just against people of other races, as I understand it, not just minority groups. And he's being punished, and he should be. End of story. But if you believe policemen are all racist, then of course you want to get rid of them. But then what? Then who protects the innocent? Who comes when you call it at midnight when someone's hurt and injured, or there's someone trying to break into your home? How does that work exactly? You know, do the citizens need to arm themselves? Which I don't have a problem with that in one sense, because I've told you I'm well armed in our home. I will defend my family if need be. I don't relish that idea, but I'm not afraid of it either. But I also believe that if there was a whole mob of several hundred people trying to trash my house, I would need the police to show up in force, a lot of them. And I wouldn't want to call and say, oh, I'm sorry, we're understaffed right now because of defunding. Do the best you can. We recommend you run. You know, just run. Run for your life. Your property will be gone, but at least you'll have your life. You know, that's just silly. And I hope we get past that. But anyway, I don't want to dive too deep. Whatever is on your mind, that's what today's about. So let's hear it. Okay, I'm scrolling. I can't get past Fred's LOL comment here. So if there's more there, I'm sorry. I'm missing it right now. We'll keep on trucking and hope the scroll is unleashed. One funny thing that we're talking about with medical teams right now is the fact that the state looks like it's going to be mandating weekly testing for medical workers, especially in nursing homes and hospice teams like mine. And I can't wait. That's just, that's so much fun. And if you haven't done it and you don't have plans for the weekend, hey, why not go get COVID-19 tested? No, I'm just kidding. I don't think you can just walk into some of those places. You need a doctor's order. But it's just, oh gosh, not fun. Not fun at all. And the prospect of having to do it every week, you know, how about Chinese water torture? Or can you, we'll just, maybe we can just mix it up a little bit. Here's my suggestion to the governor. So instead of just mandated COVID-19 testing every week, why don't we do COVID-19 testing 1 week, then the next week we could do Chinese water torture. And then the following week, we could do another COVID test maybe. And the week after that, we could have bamboo shoots rammed up our fingernails. And then maybe the week after that, we can try, the rack, stretching us out. I'm sorry. I don't, I don't want to go down that path too far. It isn't comfortable at all. It's painful, really. You have a giant Q-tip rammed up your nose into the back of your throat. I think they're doing brain samples when they're in there too. They go back deep enough. It hurts. But that's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll get used to it. Maybe I'll come to like it. Maybe at some point I'll be immune to it. They just stick it up there. I won't even notice. Be driving down the road with 2 Q-tips hanging out there. I won't even know they're in there. I don't know. We shall see how that develops over time. Wayne says, absolute craziness. Defund the police. Some people just want to create chaos. That's right. You're right, Wayne. And they're just playing into the adversary's hand. Yes, so true. From a biblical perspective, a country divided cannot stand, will not stand. That's so true. Yeah, I mean, the big idea behind this, the big picture that most people in the world don't see, but the church should see, is that the enemy is having a field day. Everything he stands for and everything he wants is being played out in our country and in many cases across the world right now. What did he come for? Jesus said, what does he come for? What does he want? He wants to kill and destroy. We see a lot of that, don't we? He lies. He's the father of lies and the one who deceives the world. We've seen a lot of lies, as I talked about on the show yesterday. There is it's not fashionable to talk about the devil. People think you're weird. But he's as real as this chair I'm sitting on. And people need to acknowledge that and recognize that if they're going to be free. You can't fight an enemy you don't think exists. You won't fight an enemy you don't think exists. If you thought it was safe in your neighborhood and there was never a chance of being robbed, never a chance of being accosted or whatever, you wouldn't lock your doors. You wouldn't have a security system. You just kind of chill. You wouldn't worry about it. But we know better, don't we? And so we lock our doors, and we have lights outside, and we have security systems. We have a big security system. It's got 4 paws and a big, long, fluffy tail. Weighs about 90 pounds. Its name is Coda. And Coda really wouldn't hurt anybody. If they broke in, he'd probably lick them. But he sounds ferocious, So that's all I need. I have a little safe next to the bed with a couple of items in it that would prevent most people from getting past my front door without meeting Jesus. Send them to meet Jesus. But, I would know they're coming because if they walk in the yard, he starts barking. He's crazy that way. He drives us nuts sometimes because, delivery man, right? Mailman, that doesn't matter. Anybody, friends, family, anybody comes to the door, gets near the house, he sounds ferocious. But unless you're allergic to saliva, he probably wouldn't do much damage. I don't know, though. I mean, if somebody got aggressive with me or Karen, he loves Karen. I'm his master, but he loves Karen. Oh, my gosh. He talks to her, even. It's funny because I'll come in and he'll, his tail wags. He comes and leans up against me and wants to be petted and hugged, and he's friendly like that, and he loves Daddy. But Karen walks in. Oh, my goodness. He goes into this weird kind of, like he's trying to say hello, and he just shakes all over and wiggles all over and has to be up close to her. And the funny thing is she's not a real dog person, so especially if she's got an armful of groceries, he drives her nuts. Like she's going to trip over him. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I mean, it's sad that we have to think about how we're going to defend our property and our lives if the police are defunded. Carrie says, Dave and I tested 3 times negative. Nice. It's miserable. Yes, it is miserable. We said a couple that test together, stay together. Yeah, there you go. Date night. What do you want to do? Oh, I don't know. Let's go get COVID-19 tested. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, why not? Hey, I guess there could be worse things. And again, you've heard me say this, I'm sure. Some of you maybe not. You might be new to the program. But I'm not opposed to testing. I just find it absurd that we think it's the cure-all, catch-all. For several reasons. Number one, it's not 100% accurate. Number two, it takes 2 or 3 days to get the good ones tested and get the results back. By that time, you could have contracted COVID-19 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 100 times by the time you get the results back. But you get this you get a negative result, and it's this false security because, again, that was 3 or 4 days ago. It doesn't mean you don't have it now. Anyway, so you say, well, that's why they're testing every week. Yes. And you'll have somewhat of a sense of a pattern that way. But what I would rather see is testing for antibodies, especially for people that have been sick or think they might have had it. That if they follow up with that, that would make sense because then we could develop maybe some more treatments or vaccines that work. Louise says I make her laugh. Yeah, that's why God gave me this face. I make everybody laugh. Carrie says the restrictions they want for schools is ridiculous. Social distancing, kids with masks all day. Oh, I know. It's not going to work. I mean, we have something similar in some of the nursing homes where they want to mandate patients wear a mask when they are visited by different staff members, such as myself. And I've laughed about that and pushed back about that and said, listen, you try putting a mask on some dementia patients. You'll get bit, scratched, kicked. Unless you duct tape it in place, it's not going to stay there. And the same is true of 3-year-olds. They want to put masks on 3-year-olds in preschool, or daycare. Good luck with that. My wife posted this thing of all the different responses teachers will have to things happening with the mask. No, Johnny, that's not a slingshot. No, you can't eat your mask. No, you shouldn't be smacking other kids with the mask like an elastic band. No, your mask doesn't go on your head; it goes on your face. No, Johnny. I mean, they're going to spend all day just trying to keep masks in place. The other one that cracked me up was they're mandating that we explain COVID-19 prevention to patients. Well, that's fine, except if you are talking to a dementia patient, which most of my patients are, they don't know sometimes what planet they're on, and you're going to try to educate them about the spread of COVID-19 and how to prevent it. It's just people that come up with these things aren't thinking. I'm sorry. Many times they haven't. In the case of the schools, they've never been a teacher. They don't. Their kids are probably grown and long gone if they have kids at all. Otherwise, how in the world would you logically think you're going to put masks on these kids all day and they're going to stay that way? Anyhow, I agree with you, Carrie. Good morning to Doug. Welcome aboard. Yeah, Coda is a sweetheart, Carrie says. Fred says should have named Coda Bob Barker. Good morning to Susie. She's up. She's with us. She's alive. Got 3 cups of coffee just in time for us to wrap up the show and wrap up the week. Well, hey, great Free for All Friday, guys. Good topics, good feedback. I love it. I appreciate that. I hope you have a phenomenal weekend, a really fun weekend. Hope you do something enjoyable. Don't panic. I mean, be wise, but don't be scared and paranoid. You can go to the beach. You can walk around. You don't have to have a mask on unless you're, less than 6 feet away, and even that, just be careful. We are, as a church, quickly practicing this weekend with our leadership team to reopen next Sunday. So we'll be reopening next Sunday, the 21st. Stay tuned for more info on that. But we still are live streaming. I will be there with our worship team live this Sunday, and we'll be putting that out on Facebook Live, on our website. Again, the Lifeway Church Facebook page or lifewaych.com. And then later, I'm sure, on YouTube, the Lifeway Church YouTube channel. So enjoy that. And hope you'll tune in. We'd love to have you with us. I think that's it for now. Listen, guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning at 7:30. In the meantime, stay in the Word, keep praying, and keep pondering. God bless you guys. Bye for now.